Jungkook grabbed Yin's arm roughly, ignoring the pain on her face. The veins around his neck stood out, indicating restrained anger. He found an empty classroom and pushed Yin against the wall. Satisfied flirting with those guys over there, huh? Yin's lips trembled, swallowing the pain in her back and heart upon hearing the harsh words. I wasn't flirting with Bam Bam. The anger in Jungkook's eyes intensified as Yin denied it. He placed a hand on her neck, making a motion as if to choke her, causing her to gasp nervously. Then what do you call this if not flirting? Your clothes are so revealing. Why don't you just go naked? I just wanted to change my style. By dressing like a cheap girl? Answer me. Jungkook tightened his grip. Yin stared into his eyes, shocked. Since they were kids, she had never seen Jungkook this angry. You enjoy flirting with them? Huh? What kind of girl do you want to be? Like this? Yin looked up into Jungkook's sharp eyes. So what if I do? You're just my friend, Jungkook. If I want to be that kind of girl, it's my choice. You have no right to control my life. Yin shouted with what was left of her voice. She didn't care if anyone heard her raspy scream. Jungkook's hand moved to the side of her head, trapping her against the wall. No right, huh? The low voice sent shivers through her body. Did you never hear my confessions? Did you never take them seriously? Yin began to sob softly, but her tears didn't stir his sympathy. Instead, if Yin had to cry this time, let her cry alone. You want to act cheap, huh? Fine, I'll indulge you now. A quick smirk from Jungkook was clearly visible. Yin shook her head vigorously as his hand beside her head now embraced her tightly. It wasn't the usual type of hug Jungkook gave her. This time, his hand firmly pressed against her back and hips. Seems like teaching you a lesson here wouldn't be bad. Finally, he leaned in and immediately kissed her neck, exploring every corner of it. Don't do this, Jungkook. Jungkook nibbled on her ear before kissing the side of her neck again. His hands held her hands. Her eyes glared at him as he stood before her. Just cry or want to scream? Do you want us to be exposed by others? I don't mind, but you'll be criticized by people. I wonder how people will react when they see a high-achieving student at this campus hugging a donor's child like this. Disgusted, perhaps? Smart and accomplished students, favorites of the professors, do things like this in an empty classroom. Why are you afraid of me doing this with you? We used to bathe together when we were kids, right? I've seen every part of your body. What haven't I seen? Everything. Stupid. That was when we were still kids. Then why are you so afraid of me like this? Trembling. Aren't you afraid of others? Or maybe you're happy. I never meant to flirt with anyone. You may not have meant to, but others could still be tempted. And do you think if you get caught with them, they'll stop? They won't. They'll keep tormenting you until they're satisfied. Crying with blood won't make them stop, and there's no way they'll stop halfway. So what do you want from me then? I don't want you wearing revealing clothes like this anymore, and I want you to belong to me. Now, Jungkook's foot is pressed against the wall, between her legs. I can't. I love. Do you love Bam Bam? Is that what you're trying to say? The tension around them grows more intense. Jungkook's face is now full of rage, his jaw clenched. Yin squirms as his knee rises, rubbing harshly against the middle of her thigh covered by hot pants. Yin's desperate plea doesn't halt Jungkook's actions. He stares sharply at Yin, now holding both of her hands beside her head. Stop, please. What's so good about him? I was the one who knew you first. I was always there for you. I support all your endeavors. And yet, you choose to love a scumbag who only knows how to string together sweet words. Where's your intelligence in that? Are you willing to change your appearance to suit his tastes? To look cheap like this? Why don't you just get tattoos like him while you're at it? Yin cries uncontrollably. Every word Jungkook says echoes in her head. Yes, Jungkook has always been there for her. He understands her, but her heart's desire isn't for him. In her heart, she is already committed to someone else. Jungkook is just her friend, and he will always be her friend. A tear rolls down his cheek. Quickly, he moves his face past her face and wipes it away before she can see. The tremble of her body makes him pause, his emotional expression turning into a bitter smile. Can't you see me as more than a friend? I almost go crazy every time I think about you. No response. Jungkook once again smiles bitterly. His strong desire for Yin to stay by her side has now dissipated. Slowly, he releases both of her hands, setting her free. Are you scared? I'm sorry, I got carried away. You want us to just be friends, right? His melancholic gaze renders her powerless. Okay, if that's what you want, but I have one request. After this, let's not greet each other first. I need to control myself. I don't want my crazy feelings to make you hate me even more, because, truthfully, I'm not ready to be hated by you. I'm not ready to see you close to Bam Bam or any other guy. For some reason, Yin feels choked up hearing this. Despite his harsh words, Jungkook, the same guy who's always been by her side, comforting her, giving her attention. Regardless of his actions, Yin can't bring herself to hate him. Even though her face may show hatred, deep down, Yin has never truly been able to hate him. However, many good things he has done for her throughout their lives, from childhood to now as adults. I'm sorry for all the harsh words. I'm sorry for scaring you. I'm sorry for causing you pain. I apologize. Your life will surely be peaceful without me. I'll tell Bam Bam that you like him too. He'll be really happy. I'll leave now. I'll be close to you again once I can accept everything. But not now. I still can't accept all of this. Finally, Jungkook turns around and starts walking away. Yin wants so badly to stop him, but once again, she's just left speechless. As the young man's retreating back turns away from her, she collapses against the empty classroom wall, whispering sadly, Jungkook. A week later, Yin looked around, searching for Jungkook. She hugged her books tighter, scanning her surroundings. It had been over a week since Jungkook's insistence, and they hadn't greeted each other or met much, just a few times in passing. They weren't in the same class, but usually, they would go to the cafeteria together during breaks. Since that incident, they haven't done so at all. Yin really missed having Jungkook around. Yin. Her face lit up when she heard her name called. Turning around, she smiled broadly. Jungkook. The smile faded as Yin felt disappointed. It wasn't the person she wanted to see. After a few seconds, Yin smiled again, though not as brightly. Bam Bam, what's up? Bam Bam chuckled softly, unaware that Yin was hoping for Jungkook's presence. I wanted to ask you out later. Are you free? I don't think I can. I have a group project with my friends at Mina's place. Yin knew the young man was disappointed but didn't show it to her. Okay, no need to apologize, Yin. Do you want me to accompany you there? Bam Bam offered, but Yin shook her head gently. I'm going with Yuna. There was a moment of silence. Only the sound of footsteps and the chatter of other students could be heard. Yin hugged her books tightly. I'll go first. I have an assignment from Professor Dongmin. You know how it is when he gives assignments. Bam Bam chuckled, ruffling Yin's hair. Okay, do a good job on the assignment, and don't daydream about me. You don't want to get in trouble with that professor. Yin smiled broadly and left Bam Bam behind. She knew why Bam Bam was acting this way. Jungkook must have told him, which is why Bam Bam was now more daring with his advances. At first, Yin was happy, but as the days passed, she found it less and less enjoyable. She began to miss Jungkook, talking, debating, encouraging each other. Yes, Yin missed him deeply. From a distance, Yin saw Jungkook walking casually. He wasn't alone. Two girls were on either side of him, busy arguing. Yin knew who they were. They were Jungkook's admirers. A pang of jealousy hit her heart. Could it be that Jungkook's claim of needing to calm down was just an excuse to be with other girls? Yin didn't like seeing this. Those two girls so easily clung to him, while now, when Jungkook passed by her, he didn't even glance her way. It felt as if Jungkook didn't know her at all. With these thoughts in mind, Yin began following him from behind. Just as she was about to call out to him, she overheard the conversation ahead. With Yin? No, I don't feel anything. Besides, Yin is with Bam Bam now. Aren't you tired of talking about them? I'm tired of it myself. Yin couldn't bear to listen any longer. She stopped, staring blankly at his back. So, Jungkook was already fed up with her. Her chest felt as if it was being crushed by a huge stone. Yin clutched her books tightly and turned away, leaving the corridor and exiting the building. Her eyes felt warm and stung as tears welled up, ready to spill. Let her skip class just for today. Meanwhile, back there, Yin has left. Mona's words made Jungkook and the other girl, Hannah, stop talking. Jungkook turned and stared down the path Yin had taken. Hannah patted him on the shoulder. Yes, Jungkook knew Yin had been secretly following him earlier. You can't really handle being away from Yin, can you? Before Jungkook could reply, Mona interjected. Like you can handle Bam Bam and Yin being together. I can handle it, just not in my heart. That means you can't handle it. That's what happens when you date a player. Emotional stress. I'm not actually staying away, just giving her time to realize things with a little help from you two. All this time, she felt too secure being close to me, without worrying about jealousy because she was the only girl closest to me. She never felt like she had to compete with any other girl. Impressive. Using us like that. Good thing I'm kind-hearted. Mona clearly understood his intentions. Being Abbott's close friend in the same class for 3 years was enough for her to know everyone's nature. What annoyed Mona was that she and Hannah were labeled as Jungkook's admirers by other students. Mona wasn't crazy enough to throw herself into Jungkook's possessive grasp. She often hung around him because she was actually chasing his older brother, V. She used Jungkook as a link between her and V. And Hannah, she was still part of Jungkook's extended family. Hannah was still madly in love with Bam Bam, still faithfully waiting for his love. So you purposely tried to make Yin jealous through us. Hannah jabbed Jungkook's shoulder, annoyed. You're such a jerk. You have to find a way to separate Bam Bam from your girl. It hurts me to see them so close, you know. How can you just let Yin be with Bam Bam? Bam Bam is supposed to be mine. You should know that. Seriously, who told you not to confess your feelings to Bam Bam? Now that he's into Yin, you're freaking out. Well, I'm afraid he'll reject me. That's the risk, idiot. This is your fault, Jungkook. Because you let go of Yin, Bam Bam can get close to her all the time. Hannah kept hitting Jungkook, venting all her frustration. Jungkook's smile widened. Despite Hannah's constant punches, he didn't feel any pain. In fact, he squared his shoulders to ensure she didn't miss. Let them be for a few more days. After that, I guarantee Bam Bam will be with you. You better not be lying, or I'll tell your dad. I'll tell uncle that you ruined my relationship with my guy. I'm not lying. You're such a tattletale. Fine. Mona massaged her temples, exasperated by Jungkook and Hannah's argument. This whole family is almost the same. Only V, my guy, is different. The next day, Yin found the same two girls clinging to Jungkook again. Not only that, through her sharp glances, she noticed Jungkook occasionally wrapping his arms around Mona and Hannah. Those embraces used to be just for her. Was Jungkook really just playing with her? Here she was, feeling anxious, while Jungkook seemed to be enjoying himself. Were his words of love just lies? Bam Bam, sitting in front of Yin, was confused, watching her sullen face and the way she was stirring her food vigorously. Yin, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. I'm just full. Her words said one thing, but her eyes were fixed on a particular spot. Bam Bam turned to see what she was looking at, and found Jungkook laughing freely with Mona and Hannah. Bam Bam thinned his lips and continued eating. Do you know the relationship between those girls and Jungkook? Huh? Bam Bam's expression turned a bit forced. Nothing, I said. Stop stirring your food. Just eat it. Okay. Yin took a bite, but her eyes kept darting back to the trio. Seeing his arm around Hannah and Mona made her heart flare up. Her grip on the spoon tightened. Abruptly, she put down her spoon and walked away. She ignored Bam Bam's echoed calls as he hurried after her. Meanwhile, Jungkook glanced at Bam Bam chasing after Yin. Next to him, Hannah was pouting. Jungkook patted her shoulder as if to console her. Be patient. I guarantee that their relationship will end soon. I hope so. Yin walked through the campus corridor, ignoring Bam Bam's calls from behind. Her heart ached seeing Jungkook so close to those two girls in the cafeteria. Eventually, Bam Bam caught up and grabbed her hand, forcing her to stop walking. Is it that painful to see Jungkook with them, that you're ignoring my calls? Bam Bam, that's not it. I'm just tired of being there. I understand, but you don't need to lie to yourself. I don't want to be a third wheel in your relationship either. You feel that way? I never considered you a third wheel. But I'm sure Jungkook sees me that way. Yin, sometimes feelings only become clear at the end. Maybe you're one of those people who realize their feelings too late. I also don't want to be with someone whose heart belongs to someone else. It's really painful. Bam Bam, I'm sorry. No, it's not your fault. I've started to realize something I hadn't seen before. What is it? That's a secret. Anyway, I think it's best if we just stay friends like we used to. That way, all the conflicts will subside. All the conflicts? How many conflicts have there been because of our relationship? It's not just Jungkook who has an issue with us. There are others too, and I'm beginning to understand why. You're making me even more confused, Bam Bam. Don't be confused. Just focus on you and Jungkook, alright? I'll head back to class. See you later. Yin watched Bam Bam leave, filled with confusion and questions. It seemed there was something she hadn't known all this time. But Yin decided not to dwell on it. Her mind was already too occupied with thoughts of Jungkook. Yin looked restless on her bed. Today, she wanted to take a nap, but her eyes refused to compromise. Her head felt heavy, yet her eyes remained open, staring at the ceiling of her bedroom. She picked up her phone and opened the photo gallery, finding many pictures of Jungkook left there. Unconsciously, tears began to flow as she looked at all the photos. She wanted Jungkook back, but she didn't know how to express it. She wasn't ready to face rejection from him, especially since he had previously reminded her to keep her distance. Perhaps he was still angry even now. That's what she thought. 3 days later. Today is Sunday, and Yin welcomes her mother, who has just returned from vacation in Paris. Her mother arrived home after being picked up by her father at the airport. Wow, Mom, you seem so happy. Where's my souvenir? Of course, sweetheart. I wouldn't forget my only daughter. 2 hours later. Yin, please take this to Jungkook's house. I promised his mother to bring them chocolates. Upon hearing her mother's request, Yin was immediately surprised. It was unusual for her to go with such mixed feelings. Since the incident, she and Jungkook had truly been keeping their distance and avoiding each other. Although her heart wanted to refuse, her feet seemed to carry her body forward, steadily walking towards Jungkook's house. She saw Jungkook's parents getting ready to enter the car. It seemed they were about to leave. "Aunt, here's a souvenir from my mom who just returned from Paris." "Oh, thank you, Yin. Please just put it in the kitchen. My husband and I are going shopping for a bit." Shortly after, she saw V coming out of the house in his workout clothes. "Oh, there's Yin. What's that in your hand?" "It's a chocolate souvenir from my mom, who just came back from Paris." "Wow, that must be delicious. I'll have it later, but for now, I'm going jogging." After saying that, V immediately left the yard as he was getting ready for a jog around their neighborhood. "Just come inside, Yin, and place it on the table. Jungkook should be happy. Just call him in his bedroom. He's just finished breakfast." After saying that, Jungkook's parents got into the car and left their yard to go shopping. Now Yin was alone, and finally, she entered the house, placing the chocolates on the table. Her heart was pounding. She wanted to meet Jungkook now to straighten out their issues. Honestly, she didn't want to prolong this situation any longer. Finally, with her heart pounding rapidly, Yin climbed the stairs, her destination being Jungkook's bedroom on the second floor. Jungkook furrowed his brow upon hearing a knock on his bedroom door. Weren't his parents already gone shopping? He could even hear the sound of the car leaving their driveway. And his brother V, he knew his brother was already getting ready for his morning jog. Without wanting to complicate things, Jungkook finally walked over to his bedroom door and opened it, seeing Yin standing in front of it. Their eyes met and Yin seemed momentarily at a loss for words. "Jungkook, my mom just arrived from Paris and I brought chocolates here. They're downstairs." "Oh, okay, thank you." After saying that, Jungkook intended to close his bedroom door, but Yin's hand quickly blocked it from closing. "Jungkook, I want to talk to you." Finally, Jungkook opened his bedroom door, stepping out of his room and heading downstairs to sit on the sofa. "What do you want to talk about, Yin?" Now they were sitting on the sofa, maintaining a noticeable distance between them. "I'm sorry. I think it took me a while to realize my feelings." "What feelings?" "I realized that I love you too, Jungkook." Jungkook secretly smiled, but he tried to hide it so Yin wouldn't see it. "Jungkook, don't just stay silent, say something. Are you sure it's love? Or could it be something else you're mistaking for love?" "Jungkook, don't confuse me. I don't want you to misunderstand your own feelings. So, I want to know what you truly feel. I don't want to see you close to other girls." "Is that all? That's called jealousy. I want to be the only one in your heart, the girl closest to you. I don't want you to distance yourself from me. I want your attention like before. I also what? I miss you so much." Her eyes felt warm and she struggled to hold back her tears. "If you really miss me, why are you sitting so far away? Come here, sit next to me." Hearing that, Yin lifted her head to see Jungkook smiling gently at her. She immediately got up and walked closer. Without asking for permission, she sat sideways on his lap, wrapping her arms around his neck and burying her face in the crook of his neck. Jungkook was initially surprised, but he remained silent. One of his hands began to wrap around Yin's waist while the other gently stroked Yin's head. "I'm sorry it took me so long to realize my feelings, Jungkook. I want to be your girlfriend now. Do you still want that?" "No, I don't want that anymore." Yin was shocked and lifted her head. "You don't want to be my boyfriend anymore? Is that what you mean?" "Yes. I don't want to anymore. You've missed your chance." Why would you say that?" Yin began to feel anxious and pink-eyed, on the verge of tears. A single tear finally fell. "You're asking that while sitting on my lap without permission. And you see, I've even let you stay like this until now. How could you tease me at a time like this?" "And what about Mona and Hannah?" "Hannah is my cousin. She likes Bam Bam. Mona is a friend of mine. She's interested in V." Yin breathed a sigh of relief, realizing her worries had been unfounded. "Yin, I love you. I love you too, Jungkook." Jungkook smiled and leaned in to kiss her gently. She responded to his kiss, both closing their eyes and feeling the tender moment. Her arms were wrapped around his shoulders while his hands held Yin tightly on his lap. The sound of their kisses filled the room as they enjoyed their affectionate connection. After a few moments, he broke the kiss, their foreheads resting together as they both chuckled softly. He gazed at her whose cheeks were blushing and shy. He cupped her face with both hands and then kissed her forehead for a long moment. "I'm glad you finally returned my feelings." She blushed even more, feeling affectionate. Jungkook, still cupping her face, kissed both of her cheeks alternately. Get up. I want to eat the chocolate now. Yin stood up and accompanied him to enjoy the chocolate she had brought.